We take a look now at the impact of poor economic conditions on confidence levels of South African small and medium enterprises. This is with Ben Bierman. He's the Chief Financial Officer of Business Partners Limited. I nearly gave you a promotion there, hey?
I would have been great.
But let's get into this report. I understand that you did a recent survey and an index to get the feel of confidence levels when it comes to SME owners, and it's not looking very great.
Good, that's right. We've been running this survey for the last 2 years, and what's interesting from the survey is that although the confidence levels in the South African economy is actually quite negative, about 53% of the SMEs surveyed believe that the economic conditions are not conducive to growth. But what is quite interesting is that around 74% of SMEs still feel that they will grow their businesses, so they are an optimistic and confident group of entrepreneurs. But we do believe that there are some macroeconomic conditions that are impacting their confidence levels, specifically the load shedding problem. I think everybody's been speaking about it. I believe this Easter weekend we are not looking at load shedding. It's whole thumbs that the power stays up. But in general, I think SMEs are really dramatically impacted often with load shedding or electricity supply problems. It affects them materially, and one needs to find a solution to that. I think the rand volatility and the price volatility, which results in fuel prices, for instance, also impacts them quite negatively.
Let's talk about that. Are they finding that there's also a significant lack of support that they're receiving from the government? Because we always hear that when we speak to entrepreneurs about the excessive red tape in the industry.
Our survey specifically addresses that issue. 30% is a very low rating in confidence levels, which is what we found in terms of government support, and there's a lot that government can do more to support SMEs. We've seen in the State of the Nation address that it's one of the 9 priorities. We've seen a fairly substantial allocation to the new Small Business Ministry, which is indicative of government's commitment to this sector. But looking at the survey results, it does appear as if SMEs are impatient, because we need to give this new Small Business Ministry a bit of time to find their feet and to see the fruits of their initiatives. The 3.5 billion rand in mentorship and other support programs we think is vital, and I think it establishes that government is prioritizing the SMEs, but we hope to see more.
From the index as well and the results that have been revealed, are we finding that when SMEs say that they're looking for support, is it more from a financial perspective or mentorship and guidance, or is it split both ways?
It is definitely a high priority, funding support. So financial support in terms of growing their businesses is always coming out as a #1 priority in the survey. But we also see a significant priority being attached to the other kinds of support in the form of mentoring, maybe less red tape. That is always seen as a big constraint. Labour laws are also quite interesting. We find that SMEs are bound by the macroeconomic or the bigger economic labour laws, and they're not participating in the collective bargaining process, and often they are then required to also apply the same increase levels, which they often can't afford. We were hoping that maybe one of the initiatives that the Small Business Ministry can come up with is to have almost an economic, like you have an environmental impact study done on new developments. We could see that SMEs and the sensitivity of SMEs to new laws are also assessed and considered when new laws and regulations are proclaimed or gazetted by government.
Ben, just to sidestep, very quick questions. Number one, are the themes that we're finding that have been revealed in this survey are in line and are common themes that we've seen in the past from these entrepreneurs? And secondly, if they know that these are the issues, are they liaising with government and other players in the industry to find possible solutions to these challenges?
I think the first question about the patterns that we've seen slight increases in their confidence levels that government is doing more, specifically as a result of the priorities that we've seen with the Small Business Ministry. So in general, I think government are seen as doing more. There was a huge spike about a year ago in terms of their confidence levels. It was really at low levels. It's come back a bit, but I think I mentioned earlier that they might be a bit impatient to see the results of the new Small Business Ministry. Your second question, I forgot.
Solutions to the problems.
Solutions to the problems. SMEs do not have a lot of collective voices that promote their cause, and we are looking at ways and means to ensure that the priorities are communicated to the Small Business Ministry. I think those issues are being are being communicated. And we have a lot of confidence in Mr. Zulu's ability to actually make a difference.
Well, we certainly hope so. One day at a time, unfortunately.
Yes.
There isn't a magic wand, but we will get there. Ben, thank you so much for your time.